Hey everybody, Will here from 1459 Studios in the beautiful city of Minneapolis, Minnesota, regardless of what the news is telling you. We are here for another episode of Let's Talk Gear. Our guest today is Mr. Mike Bullock from the band Red Vinter, currently, amongst other bands. Why don't you tell us about your musical life a little bit, my friend?
My musical life, let's see. Well, I forgot how to sing when I was about 4, and then I fell in love with Black Sabbath not too long after that. And then I went down a rabbit hole of being a Kiss fan for a little while until I got out of elementary school. And pretty soon after that, I discovered thrash metal, and then it was all downhill from there.
There you go.
Ended up in a signed speed metal band called Iron Christ when I was a teenager. Toured and recorded up and down the East Coast. Jumped ship from that band into another band on the same label called Indestroy. Did some shows, things like that with that band before we kind of went separate ways. And then ended up in a death metal band for a while playing guitar and singing, and then kind of took a break for a while and then came back into it about 5-6 years ago.
And Red Vinter is your current band.
Current band.
So why don't you tell everybody who isn't familiar about what Red Vinter is?
So Red Vinter is really like therapy. So me and the other guys all have been through a lot of crap in our life and dealt with some trauma and dealt with some things, and we just kind of get together and just make the loudest, heaviest music we can and scream into the microphone and pour it out in the lyrics and pour it out in pounding on the drums and making lots of volume. So,
as I often say to people, nobody comes to metal on a winning streak.
No.
All right.
No.
Well,
Tom Araya said a long time ago, if you've got a white picket fence and 2 loving parents, you don't like metal.
Well, on that note, why don't we talk about some pointy guitars? So Mike obviously alluded to playing guitar in previous bands. He's a bass player in Red Vinter, which means he's a failed guitar player or still a bass player?
Probably was always a bass player.
All right, fair enough.
My very first band, I wanted to play bass.
Yeah.
And I got in with the guys, and they started listening to me tell them how much I wanted to play bass, but one of them was already playing bass.
Sure.
And he was like, well, you can sing better than me, so you should be the singer. So, okay, I gave up my bass dreams, and I became the singer for a band, and I was the singer in all the bands I was in for about the next 10 years. Then I got guitar and started playing guitar, and I did that for a really long time. And then when we started Red Vinter, the drummer James and I were like, well, guitar players are easy to find, bass players are not easy to find, so I'll play bass.
Yeah.
And then it took us forever to find a guitar player.
Especially good bass players. As much as I like to joke with Mike, he's an excellent bass player, so,
No, not really.
we're...
Yeah.
Don't tell him.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, don't tell Wes Mantooth, because that dude's a good bass player.
He's a fantastic bass
Yes.
player. We love Wes.
Yes.
So he'll be in here eventually, maybe.
Maybe.
I have plans for
I'm
his
breaking
band.
the cherry for the bass players, so
Yeah.
Wes, come on, man.
Yeah, it'll be good. Good old stage breaker. So anyway, your bass. Tell us about this monstrosity.
So this is a Japanese market Fernandes. And Fernandes, for anybody who doesn't know, was one of those guitar brands that started up in Japan in the late 60s. They kind of fumbled around a little ways trying to figure out who they were, what they were doing, and then when metal really took off in the 80s, they decided they wanted to be Jackson. So they put out a whole line of all kinds of stuff that was very Jackson-esque, including body styles that they stole from Gibson. Don't tell Gibson because they might sue them. So this was actually made in, I think it's a 1987 or a 1988 model. The reason that I love it is it's nice and light, and as a singer, it doesn't interfere with my diaphragm, so I can sing and play at the same time without worrying about it. It plays really, really, really sweet. It looks cool. It came with a pair of Fernandes Dogfighter humbucker pickups, which I'd never heard of before, and they were very strange. They actually sounded pretty cool for humbuckers, but they weren't very loud. So I messed with it for a little while. It's got a super tiny compartment in the back for all the electronics, and there wasn't enough room to put a preamp in it. So I screwed around and I pulled those out, and I got a set of Bill Wild humbuckers and put those in there. And they're much hotter, so they sound a lot better. And then I got a bass preamp and threw that in the mix and went to town.
Is that the same Fernandes that that came around in 2000s when they tried to do the Resurgence, the creators of the Sustainiac?
Yes.
Okay, so same company.
Same company. Same
Cool.
company. So apparently on Ride the Lightning, most of the clean guitars from Kirk Hammett were played on the Fernandes. And apparently Trujillo played Fernandes basses for a little while when he first got into Metallica. And there's a whole host of rock and roll guys like Edge and people like that played Fernandes for a while.
Cool.
So pretty established brand overseas, not so big here in the States.
So they still do exist, because I know that they pop up once in a while in the used market stateside, but very, very infrequently.
Yeah, I ordered this one from Tokyo. I was going to buy another one because I've had a couple of issues with this where I've damaged things and had to put it back together. And then, you know, Mr. Trump and his tariffs came along, and now you can't get one of these for short of 15 grand. Or 1,500 bucks, I mean, not 15 grand. So,
Cool.
yeah.
So you done any other surgery on it besides the pickups, or you had to do a refret since you've had it for a hot minute, or anything fun like that?
No, I did mess with the truss rod at one point, and I had it where it was super sweet, and then I decided, well, maybe I can make it a little bit better, and I went too far and popped the truss rod loose, and then decided that I had broken it, so I set it aside, and I bought, I don't know, I had an Ibanez Iceman for a short period of time, and a BC Rich Warlock and a couple others, and I just didn't like any of them. And I finally took the neck and fought with it for about 4 hours straight one day and got the truss rod back where it belonged and put it back together. And it's been good ever since. I am eventually going to replace the tuners because they're old and beat up, but they still do the job. The bridge is nice and solid, so no point in changing that. I did block off the switch because it was super flaky. Like if you looked at it sideways, it would change. And so what I do is I take the pickups and I adjust the pickup heights to get them where I want them, so I don't need to worry about the switch. So
Cool. Yeah, it's a rad bass.
pretty much, yeah.
Very cool.
And it plays better than any other bass I've owned. So
Nice.
yeah.
Cool. Well, let's talk about some amps. So I'm not going to let away any of your secrets because your bass tone is ridiculous, and I love it. I'll let you decide how much you want to talk about it because, you know, some of that, you want to keep some of the mystery alive in our relationship here. But as far as the gear goes, it's like anybody who hasn't heard or seen Red Vinter before, you know that bass tone pretty much as soon as it happens. It's a nice grind machine. But yeah, tell us about your amplifier, your cabinets, your sound, all that good stuff.
So back in the day, I absolutely fell in love with Blackie from Voivod's bass tone and then Joe Bench from Bolt Thrower.
Sure.
And I've never understood why, as a bass player, I would want to use a non-distorted tone and a non-gain tone. You think about guitars, you know, as soon as distortion became a thing, almost all the rock and metal guitars, they all play distortion. Bass players didn't play with distortion for the longest time. And it's like, you know, not caught up.
Yeah.
So.
I think about like Shane Embry, D.D. Verney, it's like that bass tone, right?
Yeah, like, you know, one of my buddies calls it crushing gravel.
Yeah.
You know, grinding asphalt, that kind of thing. So I set about making sure that I had the sound that I wanted, and then I have a buddy, Pete, who's the bass player in Abominog. They're a death metal band from DC. They've been around since the late 80s. Pete has been playing metal in death and thrash metal bands as a bass player as long as I've known him. And I call him up and I'm like, Pete, I've got this tone, I want to reproduce it. What's the best amp I should go buy? And he goes, Gallion Kruger 700R. I've had one for, I think he's had his for like 30 years. He said, never not once has it failed me. Never not once have I not had it like sound killer. So the very next day I go to look and there was somebody selling this one for like $300. I'm like, used to guitar amps, you know, I had a Badlander that cost me 1,800 bucks at the time. And I'm like,
yeah.
You know, $300? Wait a minute, what's wrong with this thing? Nothing wrong with it, it's just a bass amp, and they don't charge as much as, because apparently bass players aren't dumb like us guitar players, or, you know, we pay too much for stuff. So went and got that. One of the things I love about this amp is you get an EQ for high and low mid. Most of the bass amps I've played, you only get high, low, and mid. You don't get a high and low mid.
Yep.
So it allows you to shape it a little bit better. And something
The
about
mix lives in the mids, kids.
Yes.
Yes.
And something about the Gallion Kruger tone just does it for me. So it made a great amplification to the tone I had already sculpted in here. I have a buddy named Fuzzy, and I'm going to tease him right now because he's been asking me how I get my bass tone for about 4 years now. and it became this running joke that it was like grandma's secret recipe, you know, because my grandmother played in a death metal band in the 1950s. So inside, I have a HX Stomp from Line 6. That's essentially all I will tell you is that it's a gain machine. So I ignore the fact of what's supposed to do what in a modeling amp, and I just played with different things until I got what I wanted. I didn't care if it was a bass, a guitar, or what it was supposed to be. I messed with it till I got what I wanted. And then I take that, I use a Digitech drop, so I don't have to switch because we play songs in C sharp and B, and then I don't have to worry about swapping basses on stage, things like that. Run it through the Stomp, which is, like I said, is mainly just gain, and it has a noise gate in it. And then I run it through a bass preamp pedal. Into that, Gallien-Kruger cabs, I absolutely love these things. The bottom one will literally... This isn't
a Harkey?
Or a Harkey, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Gallien-Kruger amp, Harkey cabinets, yep. The Harkey cabinets, I absolutely love them. The bottom one will literally shake the drywall off the studs in your house. I have never turned this amp up past halfway, and I had it at halfway at my house one time, and I literally could hear my walls shaking. So, and most of the bottom end comes out of that one. These ones still kick really, really well, but they also produce the higher end frequencies that you get in a bass tone better than any of the other bass cabinets I've played with. So I did have some Gallien-Kruger bass cabinets to begin with. I liked them, but I didn't like them as much as these. So.
Yeah, I know my bass player, Casey, from my death metal band, has kind of always sworn by GK and Harkey. He's the opposite. He's got the Harkey amp and then the GK cabs.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's a reason that they really only make bass gear. Because, especially as a guitar player, where you go, all right, cool, it's another guitar amp, that kind of thing. But the names in bass are the names in bass for a reason, because that's what they make.
Yeah.
GK makes bass gear. Harkey makes bass gear. Ampeg makes bass gear. They made some guitar stuff that was pretty cool, but they're a bass company.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why people gravitate towards these. So.
Yeah, and and there's lots of players out there that get all kinds of killer tones out of all those, and orange and dark glass and all the other ones. This is just what works for me.
For sure. So. And you can walk around and you can like throw it at somebody and it'll probably still work.
Yeah, exactly. And the cabinets are insanely light. Like the two of them combined don't weigh what the average 412 guitar cabinet weighs. So can't beat that with a stick, especially as, I'm getting tired of lugging around heavy cabinets. So.
Yeah. I always like the joke of when you go to a gig is who brought the fridge with the Ampeg cab.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's not a gig unless somebody shows up with a fridge, I guess. But yeah, I like the Harkey stuff. It's pretty killer.
Yeah, so our first guitar player was Lydell. You know Lydell.
Yeah. Yep.
Lydell showed up at James's house with a PV guitar amplification system.
Yeah.
It took the three of us to get the cabinet up and down the stairs. It weighed so much. And it was about this tall. And I think it had an 18-inch speaker in it and then 3 or 4 12-inch speakers in it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah, like, okay.
Yeah. I'm like, to each their own, but to me, no thanks.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, give me a 212, let's go.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty cool setup. Do you want to show us anything else cool on any of your pedals?
I don't know about the pedal, but this, I'm going to brag about this, and Will's going to laugh because I know you're a mic snob. So this is the absolute best money you can spend on gear. I bought this Shure SM58 in 1989. It has gone on tour. It has been spiked on the stage. It's been thrown at people. It's been used to hit people. It is sat in a bus pan full of spilled beer for over an hour, and it still works exactly like it did the day I bought it.
Yep.
So
SM58s also work as hammers.
Yes,
A lot of people don't realize that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The 57's not so much. You break the cartridge off.
Yeah. They're actually the same mic for people that don't know that. 58s and 57s are actually the same mic. They just have a different capsule on top. So if you're ever recording a guitar cab and you're like, oh crap, my 57 died, go grab your 58, take the top off, and you're good to go.
Yeah, and if you're somebody starting out and you want to record, buy one of these and don't worry about which microphone's best, whatever. This will get you way far before you need to worry about dealing with the minutia of, oh, it doesn't pick up this frequency quite the same or whatever. This will get you anywhere you need to go.
It's a classic for a reason.
Yep.
And I will say this, if anybody has ever seen the band or heard of the band Anal Blast, there's a reason why you should buy your own microphone and not use a club microphone. Not all SM58s are created equal. Buy your own.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes.
cool.
Something about drunken punk halitosis. Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll pass.
And bring COVID into the mix. Hard pass.
Yeah. And all the things that anal blast did. Ooh.
Really hard pass.
Yeah, really hard pass. This is a family show. We can't talk about those things.
I'll take the COVID. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Mike, thanks for coming on the show, man. I appreciate you coming to show us all our fun little bass gear, and giving the bass player a little bit of love is a good thing, so we appreciate that. Tell us what's going on with Red Vinter, what you got coming up for shows, any kind of plugs, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, so in March on the 21st, we'll be playing at Eagles for Syncfest 2. It is the big low and slow doom festival for the Minneapolis area. Your band Plague of Stars is headlining, Living Through Ghosts, Thunder Goat, Enigmatis, Boar, Wilbur, Sweetland, and us. I think I got everybody. If I didn't, sorry guys.
Through it in my head, I think you got everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, and when this comes out, we'll be in here actually recording our next album, which is called Ghost in the Fog. And that'll be a 8-song album that should be out by the summertime, depending on how long it takes Will here to mix and master. So he's usually pretty quick, does a good job. So if you need some studio time, this is the guy.
I appreciate that, my friend. Thank
Yeah.
you. This will be my third recording with Red Vinter.
Yep.
And my third recording in less than 2 years?
Yep.
That's pretty crazy. You guys are machines.
We got half the next album already written too. So.
All right, see you next year.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are on the Cymathawa schedule every 8 months. Boom, next
Yep,
album.
Exactly. So then, we've got a couple of things lined up, and then we're going to play the Northern Wisconsin Metal Fest in September. And man, that's got a crazy lineup with Green Jelly headlining. That's going to be a blast. So.
Little Pig, let me
me
in.
in. Yes, yes.
That band's ridiculous. If you've never seen them, they're super fun.
Yeah, so funny story real quick if I have time. So when their first album came out, they had a VHS tape that somebody gave me, and I was watching my brother's little kids at the time. And I'd seen the Green Jelly video for Little Pigs, whatever, and didn't think anything of it. And I was like, oh, I'll let them watch it. So I let them watch it, and I left the room. And I didn't realize that the couple songs later was Shit Man.
Yeah.
So I come back in, and my 4-year-old and 6-year-old nephews are running around the house going, Shit Man, Shit Man, Shit Man. And my sister-in-law has hated me to this day because of that. So Green Jelly, if you're listening, thanks, dudes.
Well, I'm happy you told us. That's awesome. So we'll just end the show with saying, Little Pig, let me in.
Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin.
See you later.